Welcome back. Living in gated societies with sparkling swimming pools and other amenities is often a dream come true for the urban middle class. But in Gurugram, one such society has showed how quickly this dream can turn into a nightmare. Just a day after a 5-year-old boy was found dead in a society's pool, his grieving family has come forward with heart-wrenching details. Those 5 minutes that changed everything for them are now under scrutiny. The family recounts a horrifying scene. The child desperately seeking help while the lifeguards, untrained and apathetic, were engrossed on their phones. Shockingly, these lifeguards were neither skilled swimmers nor trained in CPR. Even after pulling the child from the water, they made no attempt to revive him. The company managing the society's club has pointed fingers at another private agency, blaming them for hiring these unqualified lifeguards. The Residents' Welfare Association had already flagged these issues, highlighting the lack of a mandatory occupational certificate to run the club and pool. They had complained that safety rules were being ignored. Now, with the lifeguards arrested, there's little comfort for the family facing this unimaginable loss. And remember, the guardian who was with the child in the pool, the 5-year-old child, had left the child speaking to the guard there that she would be back in just 10 minutes. And this happened in the interim. As is too often the case, it takes a tragic event to spur authorities into action. Reports now indicate that society pool may have been constructed and operationalized without the necessary permissions from government agencies.
Yes, so we saw a copy of a complaint which was filed back in 2023 by the RWA. The RWA was demanding an OC, which is an occupational certificate, which is needed before running the clubs in the swimming pool. So that is what was missing. In fact, not just the occupational certificate, there were several other documents that were also missing. Currently, we're on the spot where the 5-year-old child passed away due to accidental drowning. This is the swimming pool that he was present at. This is only 2 feet deep. This is where the child was playing. The grandmother was towards the right side. That is a clubhouse where a Gita part was taking place, where she was, and she did state that she was keeping an eye on the child, but only moved out for a couple of minutes. And while she was away, the child ran from this swimming pool to the adult pool towards my right side. Requesting my camera person Dilip Sahu to also show the visuals. This is the pool where he drowned.
This is so unfortunate and so many lapses that are right before us. I'm also being joined by Mr. Sitaram right now, who is the grandfather in this particular case. हमारे साथ जुड़ने के लिए बहुत-बहुत शुक्रिया, Mr. Sitaram. We're really sorry for what happened. This is so tragic. You must be still recovering from the pain. ये कैसे हुआ?
लापरवाही ये है, जैसे मैंने सुना है सोसाइटी के लोगों से कि यहाँ स्विमिंग पूल पे 4-4 गार्ड नियुक्त हैं, और उस दिन मैं ये समझता हूँ कि अगर एक भी गार्ड होता तो डेफिनेटली हमारा बच्चा बच जाता।
आप कह रहे हैं कि वहां पे कोई भी गार्ड प्रेजेंट नहीं थे? बिकॉज हमें बताया गया कि उनके साथ जो ग्रैंड मदर थी, उन्होंने गार्ड के हाथ सौंप के गई थी वहां पे।
मैं ये कहना चाहता हूं मैम कि जैसे हमें पता चला कि वहाँ 4-4 गार्ड डिप्यूट हैं, बावजूद उसके वहाँ एक गार्ड था जिस समय हमारी वाइफ देख के आई वहाँ बच्चे को, और वो उसके लिए तेल लेने के लिए चली गई। वो 1.5 फुट वाले ही उसमें नहा रहा था, और उस समय एक गार्ड था और 1-2 बच्चा और था। और जैसे ही वो उसके लिए तेल लेने के लिए ऊपर गई है, उसी दौरान में हमें पता चला कि वो कोई बच्चा शरीर से डूब गया है, और वो उसको सिग्नेचर हॉस्पिटल लेके गए हैं।
आपको कैसे पता चला? आपको ये कैसे पता चला कि वो डूब गए हैं?
मेरे पास मेरी वाइफ का ही फोन आया कि आप सिग्नेचर हॉस्पिटल पहुंचिए। मीवांस को वहां 2 व्यक्ति सिग्नेचर हॉस्पिटल में लेके गए हैं और मैं तुरंत हॉस्पिटल पहुंचा तो डॉक्टर से बात की। डॉक्टर ने बच्चे को मृत घोषित किया।
आपके ग्रैंडसन का एज क्या था? कितने साल के थे वो और उनको स्विमिंग आती थी?
5 साल का था वो। रूटीन में संडे को ही जाता था, उसको कोई तैरना नहीं आता था। वो 1.5 फुट वाले में ही नहाता था। 4 फुट वाले में चला गया क्योंकि जो 2-4 बच्चे थे वहाँ वो धीरे धीरे शायद चले गए और वो अकेला जब रह गया तो वो 4 फुट वाले में चले गया।
आपके घर पे आपके ये जो प्ले एरिया है, स्विमिंग पूल है, पार्क है आपके सोसाइटी में, वहाँ पे सीसीटीवी कैमरास हैं, फुटेज है, आपने वो देखा? कुछ बता पाएंगे आप?
मैंने सीसीटीवी फुटेज नहीं देखा। हाँ, लगा हुआ था मगर मैंने नहीं देखा, बाकी आरडब्ल्यू ने देखा।
आरडब्ल्यू क्या बोल रहे हैं? व्हाट इज द आरडब्ल्यू सिंह? क्या बोल रहे हैं वो?
उन्होंने क्या कहना था? उन्होंने तो ये कहना है कि भाई इस चीज की कि किसी हो, जैसे हमारा तो बच्चा वापस नहीं आ सकता, तो इस चीज का अगर दूसरों पे भविष्य में अफेक्ट पड़ेगा तो वो तो लंबा लॉस हो गया जी।
मिस्टर सीताराम, हमारे साथ जुड़ने के लिए बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया और हमसे बात करने के लिए बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया। All right, and I'm being joined by Mr. Group Captain Sandeep Sharma, who is the RWA President of the society where this incident took place. And I'm also being joined by Pradeep Rawat, who is an ex-RWA President for the India Bulls Centrum Park Residents Welfare Association in Gurgaon. Thank you very much, both of you, for joining me. Group Captain Sandeep Sharma, if I can come to you first. We just spoke to the grandfather, but there seems to be big concerns about what has happened. It's not just one incident. Apparently, there was a fire in the society. There have been also concerns about the rules and regulations, which I am made to believe that even the RWA has raised several times.
Yes, ma'am. There are a lot of safety concerns in this society, which is being managed by BPMS, a company owned by Mr. Kabul Chawla, who is owner of BPTV Private Limited also. And concerns like falling plaster, there have been fire incidents involving meter of different towers. 2 incidents have recently happened. Before that, 1 year back, there was a major fire in STP also. But we have been raising concerns, but they are not being addressed by the builder. So they've never intimated us the cause of the fire in STP or why the fire, what was the cause of fire in the meters, electricity meters. And we moved in here in 2017. And next year onwards, there were numerous incidents of plasters falling down. I myself, I was saved by a few feet when during raining season, the plaster fell off from upper levels, upper floors from the wall.
Okay.
And we have lodged this complaint with the authorities also.
Sir, if I can ask you this question, in this particular case.
Yeah.
Okay. So in this particular case, we've spoken to the grandfather. He obviously he's quite shaken. He's not able to tell us much, but he's mentioning that there were 4 guards there. Were they the usual security guards or are they supposed to be the lifeguards at the swimming pool and there was one who was present? Could you give us a clearer picture what was seen in the CCTV?
Yeah, ma'am. This happened around 6:50 in the evening. I've seen the CCTV footage. Guards were very much present there, about 4 lifeguards, and there were 1 or 2 security guards also.
Okay.
But the problem is the swimming pool is supposed to have a fencing all around it to prevent small kids from entering that area. And we have been raising this concern for past 1.5 years since the club became operational. But they've never taken us, builder has never taken our concern seriously. They've never been addressed. There's supposed to be anti-skid mats all around this. They have never been put there. So this child, he from a small pool, he goes into this big pool. He doesn't know swimming and he drowns there. And he's there for good 7 to 8 minutes. The lifeguards fail to notice him. Why? Because they are sitting on one corner, gossiping
How is
on
that
a normal
possible?
table.
How can four guards, you're saying four lifeguards were present there. How can four
Correct.
lifeguards fail to look at this? I mean, this is baffling. I mean, I can't even wrap my head around this. Of course, there are lots of lapses from various sides, including possibly the family as well, and that's very clear. But four lifeguards present on the spot and nobody noticed that there is a child who's, for all possible reasons we know, flapping for his life?
For good 7 to 8 minutes, maybe more than 8 minutes. He was there, lifeless. Nobody noticed him, and quite late, somebody noticed him, alerted the lifeguard, and then he came running and picked up the kid. But it was too late by that time. And when we asked lifeguard how it
Was
has
the
happened,
CPR done? Was emergency? No? Did they give any emergency relief? Did they try a CPR resuscitation? Did they do anything of that sort? Try that?
As far as I know, it was not done, ma'am. I was not there, but as far as I know, I cannot say it in a confirmed manner. But I think it was not done. And when I spoke to the lifeguards there, as usual, their first complaint was, we have never been receiving our payment on time. For past 4 to 5 months, they have not received their pay. So this is the grudge which is very common with the agencies which are involved with the BPTP, be it a housekeeping agency, be it security or any agency. They are never paid on time. And this is the unofficial policy of the BPTP Private Limited. So I hold the top
Pradeep Rawat
leadership of
also joins us
BPTP
right now.
responsible for this.
Right. Sandeep Sharma, Group Captain Sandeep Sharma, I understand what you are saying and I hear you as well. But there are so many lapses in this particular case, and the points, all of the points that you have mentioned, quite frankly, can happen anywhere. I'm also being joined by the former RWA President of another society, Pradeep Rawat. Mr. Pradeep Rawat, if there are viewers, if there are RWAs listening to us today, what would you say would be the big takeaways from this?
First of all, I feel very sorry for the family. The precious life is lost and that life cannot be replaced. And the reasons are so many. There are so many red flags in this particular incident that we all need to take the lesson from. First of all, the basic common rule is a child below the age of 14 is not supposed to be alone at the swimming pool, number one. Number two, as the previous RWA President was mentioning, that there was no fencing around the pool. I mean, if there is a no gate, how will guard or somebody else will stop anybody from venturing into the pool? Thirdly, and very importantly, whatever I could see from the video, there was no tire-like structure, inflated structure around the child body, because whether the child is in a small swimming pool of 2 feet or any other pool, that structure should be there, especially when we know that he doesn't know the swimming.
You mean a tube? You mean a swimming tube, an arm tube or a waist tube? You mean a swimming tube?
That is also not there. That is also not there. And as I was told by somebody, even the swimming pool construction hasn't got the OC as far as I know. So there are so many red flags. And what basic thing we all need to learn from this is, ultimately, no matter what we do, no matter what we say, a child life has been lost. So it doesn't happen again in the future. Every society, be it RWAs, be it the association of the apartment owners, or even the people who are residing there, they need to understand one thing. Basic idea is, if a child is going to the swimming pool and if he's young enough and he doesn't know swimming, a parent or somebody from the family should always be there. And they, no matter what the circumstances are, they should never leave the child alone. That is very important. Secondly, as far as the societies, the people who are responsible for hiring guards and all these people, I don't really understand if the guards are not trained. It's such an important job, not just a child. Anybody who doesn't know swimming or is learning swimming, is if he or she is at a swimming pool and unfortunately if he happens to drown or even falls into the pool, they should be well versed with the process of reviving him or her. And if they have no idea how to revive and how to give CPR, then it's a criminal offense. So what I feel is there are so many wrong things done here, and authorities, be it RWA, even the police, they need to be very, very vigilant in this case. And every society should need to learn that this should be an eye-opener for all of us. This incident has happened in the past. It happened today, the day before yesterday. It could happen in the future also. So we all need to be very vigilant. Otherwise, this hue and cry will go on for a few days, and then again the same process will continue. So this is my humble request that everybody needs to awaken.
No,
yes.
Absolutely. And this is not just one society's issue. Unfortunately, this has happened in one one society. But this is just, there's such a slim margin between a mishap and a devastating tragedy. And this could unfold in so many other societies which do not follow these very, very important steps that have been mentioned in this show. And that's the reason why we are doing this show as well. In fact, it's very important, and to our viewers as well, and I'm glad our panelists said this, that don't allow any young child there unattended. Often societies would do this of not allowing a child below a particular age to enter a swimming pool. And I think personally, that's my opinion, that's extreme, because swimming is a life skill. The younger a child gets to learn it, it's always better. But with that comes great responsibility of every adult around it, be the family member or the lifeguards or the security personnel who are in the pool. Group Captain Sandeep Sharma, would you help us understand in this particular case? You're mentioning that there were 4 lifeguards who were present there. Are they trained lifeguards? Do they know swimming? Do they have an experience in this field? Would you know about that?
Ma'am, they are supposed to be experienced and qualified. But as I said, the BPTP builder, I don't know, because I have experience when we were hiring a security agency about 2 years back. The reputed agencies, they will just vanish when they hear that it is the BPTP. They have to deal with the BPTP because of their poor reputation in the market. So I can well imagine that they were not that well trained or that well qualified.
Okay, but you wouldn't know about this. I mean, because I would also wonder, because if you are part of the RWA, if all of you are there, if your children, if your family members are going for swimming, you would have asked the lifeguards, you would have done a preliminary check, irrespective of who recruits them. If they are there, there would have been these questions that would have been asked of them.
I'll tell you one more thing. Like, it's not that we were totally silent all this time. Many times we have raised the red flags. Like, there are 2 tall chairs about 7 to 8 feet high on which this lifeguard is supposed to sit. There are 2 of them. Those who are regular swimmer, even we whenever we used to visit, we would ask them, why you're not sitting there? And we used to tell the manager of the club also that this must be ensured. But it never happened. They never took our complaints seriously. And we asked, I myself put a complaint on CM window requesting for a copy of OC to be given, OC of club. It is 1-year-old complaint. Till now, nobody has bothered to share. I even met personally STP Gurgaon also. But they have never shared with us.
Right.
And why there is no transparency in the whole affair.
Right. All right. Thank you very much to our panelists. Thank you very much, Pradeep Rawat. Thank you very much, Group Captain Sandeep Sharma, for joining us with these very, very important points. Our heart goes out to the family that has lost their child, their grandson. This is so tragic at so many levels. But to our viewers and to all who are watching, certain rules that should never be compromised with, particularly if it involves children and their play areas, particularly a swimming pool, to ensure you have trained lifeguards to hold them account, to ensure that they are on the vigil, particularly during the swimming pool hours, even when there is a child, to ensure that a family member always accompanies a child in the swimming pool, not to leave the child for even a fleeting moment, particularly if these are toddlers, even who know swimming, because it just takes fraction of a second for toddlers to lose their concentration. There's so much more to this, and even as the lapses have emerged, as the RWA has raised questions, there are questions of licenses, there's questions of recruitment, there's questions of training, and so many other things that I'm sure is not only about this society, but so much for so many other societies in residential areas to learn from.